everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be all about some of my regrets. And I don't mean that time when I was 14 years old and I stole my mom's car in the middle of the night to take it on a joyride, hit a curb so hard one of the hubcaps fell off, and mom was knocking on my bedroom door the next morning. Those are not the type of regrets that I'm going to be chatting about in today's video. It is going to be all about makeup regrets. So it is nearing the end of 2019, which means it is time for a bunch of yearly wrap-up videos, including makeup that I regret buying. These are going to be 10 products that I regret buying throughout the entire year of 2019. I will also be chatting about some of the worst makeup that I've tried in 2019. That is still yet to come, but also the best makeup that I tried in 2019, which I'm also very excited to post. So I do have a regrets playlist. I'm going to hop back into that in 2020, which I'm very excited about getting back to posting in that series on a regular basis, but I will link my regrets playlist down below if you want to catch more of these. I have posted a 2019 best of affordable makeup video as well. I will also link that one if you want to see it, but if you would like to hear some of my regrets throughout the year, why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so once again, these are products that I regret buying. I did purchase all of these products myself, and I regret them for one reason or another. It might be I regret them because I really didn't like the product. It might be I regret them because I felt silly afterwards purchasing it. It might be a regret because I regret how much money I spent on a certain product, that sort of thing. So it's kind of a wide variety here, and I thought that I would start from my most recent purchases and work my way backwards throughout the year. It has been really hysterical. I've been watching so many of my old videos, probably from the past like 3 weeks now, just to film all of these wrap-up videos, and there are some releases and sometimes like watching me in videos talk about them that I'm just like, I can remember being in a mood when I was talking about that product, let me tell you. But first up on my super official index card, thank you so much, we have the Natasha Denona Coral Palette. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit, give the butterfly wings a break, to insert some photos of products that I no longer have. I do still have a few in my collection, but some of them I did get rid of, return, pass on, that sort of thing. I just got some new lights to hang in the background, just kind of feeling them out, testing them out. I feel like when I'm here, they kind of look like butterfly wings, but we're gonna move to the side. You can let me know what you think about them, but my plant is currently on vacation. He put his request in to go on vacation. So that's where Perry is. So the Natasha Denona Coral Palette, this was $48. Now, I did order this from Sephora. When it came to me, it was broken. 2 of the shadows were broken, and this is only a 5-pan palette. 5 eyeshadows for $48 is definitely really expensive. 2 of them were broken. Not so great. You know, definitely not a good thing. Wasn't really feeling that. But I think the biggest regret I had from purchasing this was that it truly was a product that I knew I didn't need. I didn't have to have it, and especially the 5 for $48. I don't do that a ton. You know, I don't purchase the big $100 eyeshadow palettes from Natasha and Pat, you know, my girlfriends. Even though we're friends and we go out to dinner from time to time and we like switch favorite wines and stuff, you know, like learning each other's favorites, I tend not to purchase their really, really expensive eyeshadow palettes. And even still, 5 for $48, still expensive, but I somehow managed to talk myself into it of like, this is gonna be a good idea. I just wanna see what the formula is like in the regular 5-pan palettes versus the minis, which I have and I do enjoy. The Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette is one of my favorites. And I'm looking at the shades, I'm like, I think that I could do that one. It reminded me of one of the larger palettes, but in a smaller form and colors that I really liked. So I just talked myself into it, even though I knew I didn't need to spend that amount of money on such a small eyeshadow palette, but I still did it. So I felt it was like my karma. It was what I deserved when it came in and 2 of the shadows were broken. I was like, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it, Samantha? You knew you didn't need that palette, and I did it anyways. So I was able to return it to Sephora. I did a couple looks with it, and I liked the looks that I did, and they were pretty, but it still wasn't a palette that I was like, I absolutely like truly want to keep this around. So I ended up being able to return it to Sephora, especially because it was broken. So instead of getting a replacement, I just went ahead and I think I got like a Sephora gift card for it. So there's that. Next up, this is a product that I have mentioned recently in a Makeup Monthly, but I really needed to put in this video because I really didn't like this product. This is the Elcie Cosmetics Velvet Makeup Sponge. Oh yes, the classic makeup sponge. I got so many comments on this when I purchased this in an Ulta video. So many of you were talking to me about this, and I didn't see it. I didn't see what I thought that this looked like, and then once you guys told me that it looked like an adult sex toy, I really couldn't get that out of my head, and then I was putting it on my face, couldn't really get that image out of my head. So one, there was that. But two, honestly, like, most makeup sponges I like. Usually the biggest issue I have with a makeup sponge is that it's too firm. Not even that it's too soft. Not even that it's too soft, but it's too firm. This conversation is going, oh dear, dear, dear. Actually, that's my issue though. Like, I feel like I'm like punching myself in the face. This is not getting any better. Wow. That's usually what I don't like. I don't mind that. It's kind of like an in-between, like, don't mind it at all. But something about this sponge and like what it's made of is that it actually like leaves like little tiny holes all over my skin when I'm pressing in my foundation or my concealer. Like, it leaves an imprint on my face. And I find that very bizarre. Like, when I actually look at the sponge up close, I can see all the like tiny holes in the material, but then it's getting onto my skin, and I don't really know if I understand that. Also, like, every little thing gets on the sponge. Like, all of these, I don't like, just like little hairs from around the house, you know, like dog hair or just like little fuzzies from clothes and stuff. Everything sticks on this sponge, and I don't know if I've ever noticed that with any of my other sponges, but just the material that this is made out of just does not work for me. So that's the biggest reason why I don't like it. A big reason why I regret buying this one is because I was between purchasing this and the Dose of Colors sponge, which is only $15. This is $18. I've tried the Dose of Colors. It's one of my favorite sponges. I wanted to purchase another backup, but at the time I was placing this Ulta order, you know, whenever I place a makeup order, I have a specific number in mind that I don't want to go over for the total. And if I got both sponges, I would be over the total, and I wanted everything else in my cart. So I had to make a decision between the two, and it went to the Elcie, and that is quite a bummer. I wish I would have gotten the Dose of Colors, let me tell you. Next up on my list, I actually have two different concealers. So one is from Smashbox. This is the Studio Skin Flawless 24-Hour Concealer. This was a $24 concealer. A reason that I purchased this was because so many people were hyping it up. And yes, there was a lot of sponsored posts with this concealer. A lot of sponsored videos, a lot of sponsored Instagram posts, so I was definitely hearing a lot of people talk about it, but I was also seeing a few, you know, non-sponsored posts in there too, and from people that I really enjoy, and I was like, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Like, it was just one of those things that I felt like it was kind of like in my face every single day for so long that I was like, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. I like Smashbox. I like Smashbox as a brand. You know, they definitely have hits and misses, like every brand, but I just thought I would give it a try. I picked up the shade Light Natural. I did like the applicator on it. It really does pick up a lot of product, which can be good, but the concealer just really didn't do anything for me. There wasn't a lot of coverage to it. It tended to break up quickly. I thought that it blended fine and all of that, but I just didn't notice it doing anything. Like, maybe if you have like really amazing under eyes, you don't really need a lot of coverage, you don't really need a lot of oomph with your concealer, you might enjoy this one. But for me, I'm 32, I have a terrible sleep schedule. I typically always have a lot of dark circles on my under eyes, or just a lot going on under there, fine lines, wrinkles, all of that. And this one, it just almost kind of looked like I wasn't even wearing concealer. So that was definitely a bummer. The other concealer I had was from Fenty Beauty. I do have a few misses from Fenty, but you know, it is what it is. I also like a lot from Fenty Beauty as well, but I just really didn't get on with this concealer. It was very drying to me, which I don't enjoy. I do like something that's a little bit more hydrating, but even applying it to my skin, I felt like it was just a very dry concealer. It was a little bit harder to blend out, and it just looked a little bit more cakey and emphasizing of the fine lines that I have. So I was really, unfortunately, not a fan of the Fenty Beauty concealer. The next item I have is one of the most expensive on my list, and it's another one from Natasha Denona. So again, I know I have a couple different Fenty in here. I have some Natasha Denona, but these are brands that I am interested in, and I do want to try their products and see, so I do go ahead and purchase them for myself. And again, some are going to be hits, some are going to be misses, some are just going to be kind of so-so for me, but I don't know, it's just fun to be able to give my reviews. But this is another one that I knew I didn't need, and I bought it anyways. Like, it just was not smart purchasing on my part, and that's what I regret. This is from, again, Natasha Denona, the Tan Bronze and Glow palette. This palette is $55. That is very expensive. Now, it's beautiful packaging. You have this really nice mirror inside, and then you have 4 different products. So you have a cream highlight up here, which is actually covered with this, like the top layer has this protective covering. You also have two other highlights right here, and then this is the, what is the proper name for this one? The blush and bronze powder. So I bought a palette with 3 highlights and a bronzer inside. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I let the hype of this get the best of me. So many people were saying how curious they were on it, and they wanted to see the reviews on it, and they wanted this product, and I was like, I could go out and buy it, and I could review it and show swatches of it, and it could be great. But I knew, like, I didn't need this palette. I let myself talk myself into buying this, and again, that's what I regret. I think that this is a nice palette. It's nothing against Natasha Denona. It's nothing against this palette. I know a lot of people still continue to enjoy it and wear it, but for me, I don't get enough use out of it. Again, there's 3 highlighters in here. One of them is a cream highlight. I don't even wear cream highlights that much. I'm not a cream makeup person. Cream highlight, cream blush, I just don't wear them a lot. Even cream bronzer, not really a huge fan of, but I try every now and again. Like, I just knew that this was not going to be worth it for me, and I let myself get carried away with the hype anyways. So again, I really don't use the cream highlight a lot. This highlight here is a little bit too dark for me. I've actually worn it on my eyes. I do like both of these products. I think that they're nice. But Natasha Denona also released a mini Bronze and Glow that has a bronzer and a highlight in there, or a bronze toned blush and a highlight in there, and I love that. It was in my recent Shop My Stash video. I use that one so much. It's nice and mini. I take it traveling with me a ton, and that was $19. Like, that's all I needed. That's all I need was the duos. Like, I really enjoy duos. That is something that I learned this year. I definitely tried in 2019 not to buy as many palettes, especially face palettes, but this is one that I let myself buy, and at $55, like, that's a regret. Another palette that I just let myself get carried away with the hype for, this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Riviera palette. So this is a $45 eyeshadow palette. Now look at this palette. And look at me. Now look at this palette. Look at me. And if you follow along with my channel and you've been watching me for, I don't know, maybe like 3 weeks or so, I feel like you probably might know that I am probably not going to do a lot of looks with the color scheme in here. There are definitely neutral shades, and you can do neutral looks, and I have with this palette. But with some of these colors in here, I don't even know what to do with them. I'm just not a colorful makeup wearer, and I'm okay with that. We all have our different sense of style. We all have our different preferences, and that is totally okay, whether it be makeup, whether it be the clothes we wear, the TV we watch, the books we read, the music we listen to. It doesn't matter. Everyone's different. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us beautiful. And this palette really, it didn't really make me feel very beautiful when I would try these shades. It is fun to go outside your comfort zone, and I do think that it's good to have a diverse collection where needed, but I don't need to fill my eyeshadow palette collection with more colorful palettes and all of that. I even have some single shadows that, you know, have more color to them that I can reach into every once in a while if I'm getting a crazy hair and decide to do something wild, like steal my mom's car when I'm 14 years old and think I'm gonna get away with it. This palette, again, I just got suckered into the hype, and I definitely regret buying that. Again, I think that it's a fine eyeshadow palette. Truly, I feel like after the release, I didn't hear a ton of people talking about it or even like seeing it a lot. I don't know if that's because Anastasia just started releasing so many palettes all at once that everyone was just trying to keep up with all the new with Anastasia, but it's just one that I really don't reach into. I have all my Anastasia palettes stacked because I like Anastasia, I like the formula, I like a lot of her palettes, so that was another reason that I was like, maybe I won't use it the most, but like look at this beautiful like nautical packaging and it'll be fun to like switch it up and all of that. No. So with all of my Anastasia palettes, I have them stacked together, and this one is continually on the bottom because it never gets grabbed for. My Soft Glam, my Sultry, even Modern Renaissance, the original Norvina palette, I reach for all of them. I do not reach for the Riviera. Another Fenty product that I really wasn't a fan of, and I know a lot of people are, I just was not. This is their Sun Stalker bronzer. I have the shade Shady Biz. This bronzer was $30. That's pretty expensive for an individual bronzer. Really nice compact on there, nice smear. I actually went in store. I bought this in store at Sephora. I swatched all the different bronzers to pick my favorite shade. I still feel like though, even after doing that, not the best shade match on me. It pulls more orange. That's one of the biggest complaints I've heard about the Fenty Beauty bronzers, is that they can pull orange or just like, I don't know, too warm, but I've definitely heard the term orange being used quite a bit, and it's almost just like a dry powder. I felt like I had a lot of issues blending this one and making it look more natural on my skin because it just felt so dry for me. So unfortunately, this was one that I really didn't enjoy, and especially at that $30 price tag, that was a big regret. A liquid lipstick that I tried in 2019 that I was really not a fan of is from Sugarpill. This is their liquid lipstick. I purchased the shade Clink. This was $18. I picked this up from Ulta Beauty when Sugarpill came into Ulta. I get really excited when I see new brands coming into new retailers, whether it be Ulta, Sephora, even like Beautylish. I just finished filming my Will I Buy It that went up earlier in the week. I will link that down below. I was talking about two new brands, one that came into Ulta Beauty, one that came into Beautylish, Dominique Cosmetics, and it's always exciting and having it be more accessible for more people. I think that that's great. So a lot of times when a new brand comes into Ulta, I'm kind of like, ooh, like maybe I should try that out and see and get some reward points in there. So I picked up the Sugarpill liquid lip, again in Clink, and I loved the shade. The shade was beautiful. A nude, I thought it was so great. When I put it on, I immediately was like, yes, like this is a me shade. I really enjoy this. And then I just really did not like the formula at all. It was so dry, it was so crumbly. As I was putting it on, I was starting to have issues with like my lips like sticking together, and when I would try to open my lips, they would be like, it was just not great. I also remember like throughout the night, like it just got worse. It was flaking away. My lips were like shriveled little prunes. I can even remember going to a friend's house that night. Like this is how vividly I can remember that I didn't enjoy that liquid lipstick, because I think it was from the summer, I want to say. I remember going to a friend's house that night, and like we had pizza, like my husband was there, we were just hanging out with friends, and I remember being embarrassed at the lipstick, but I wanted to keep it on because I wanted to get a wear time of it to be able to review. So even though I knew it was looking terrible, I was like, I still want to see what it looks like after like a full day of wearing it, so just keep it on. And that ended up being a big regret, and unfortunately I haven't purchased anything from Sugarpill since then. But it's like, oh, when you don't like something that much, it kind of makes it hard to be like, let's see what else I can find. You know? A product from Too Faced that I tried in 2019 that I really did not enjoy was one of their foundations. This was the, oh, I didn't write down the proper name. I wrote the Dew foundation. It was part of their like the Tutti Frutti collection, the Dew You foundation, I think is what it was called. This was $36. I purchased this from Ulta. The collection was exclusive to Ulta Beauty, so I picked up a couple things from the collection. A few I liked. I still really enjoyed the bronzer and highlight duo, that pineapple duo that came out in the collection. Still really enjoy that. Actually take it in my travel bag with me quite a bit. But the foundation I really didn't like off the bat. It did have a really strong scent, but it just left my skin just overly dewy. And at that time, I was still pretty dry. I have since started to experience more oily skin, so I couldn't even like fathom trying to wear this now. But even when I was trying it out, I was like had considerably dry skin, and even using a foundation that I was like, yay, it's gonna like make me dewier and give me some glow, like that's gonna be great. It was just way too overboard, and I felt like I was having to like blot my face and powder when I wore it. And at that time especially, I was like, what? This never happens to me. I don't know what's going on. I didn't think the wear time was the best. It kind of slipped and was sliding all over the place on my face, and I just was not a big fan. I ended up passing it on to a subscriber who heard my review and, you know, said that sounded like the claims would work well for her. So I said, okay, you try it, girlfriend. Like, and I hope she had better luck with it, because I really did not. And then moving back over to a product from Fenty, their matchstick. I picked up the one in Mocha. This was $25, so I was using this as a cream bronzer mostly is what I was using it for. Again, I don't really use cream products a ton. Cream bronzer is what I have probably the easiest time with versus a blush or a highlighter, but I still don't tend to use them a bunch. And again, with this one, same as with the powder formula, I just thought that it was pretty dry. It was hard to blend out. I definitely had to do like one side of my face before I could do the other. I tried multiple different ways, applying it directly to my face, applying it to my hand and picking up with a sponge, using a brush. Like, I gave it a lot of different shots, and it just did not work for me, which was a bummer. So that was the one from Fenty. Again, I like a lot of products from Fenty Beauty, but there was also some misses, and I purchased a lot from the brand and tried them out myself this past year. And then the last product that I want to finish off with is the Beauty Bakerie Mini Highlight. When I was looking this up on the Ulta Beauty website to get the price for it, I noticed that the word mini was in quotes, and I was a little bit confused. I don't know if I remember that when I first purchased this, because this might have been even at the very end of 2018, very early 2019 that I purchased this one, but I was trying it a bunch in the new year. But this was a $16 highlighter, and this was one where like the packaging definitely made me buy it, and then the packaging made me regret buying it, if that makes any sense. But it's a super cute packaging, and like this, well, I'll have a picture on the screen so you can see it, because that'll probably do better than me trying to describe it. But it is very large, so I don't know if that's where the mini is now coming into play, that it's in quotations, because it might be mini as in how much product you're getting versus like, I don't know, a regular highlighter. But the actual packaging is so large. I mean, it's truly like a container for like storage and all of that. It's like, where would you put it? It would be pretty much impossible to travel with this. And it was so messy trying to dump it out. I mean, even just trying to put it on. I remember the few times I was trying to wear it like on camera, and you could just see highlight flying all over my room. It was just kind of a mess. And I remember the shade not looking the greatest on me. It was too dark on my skin. It also showed a lot of texture. I just felt like it was very noticeable in a not good way on camera and in person when I wore that highlight. So unfortunately, the Beauty Bakerie Mini Highlight was definitely a miss for me. But after that, those are 10 products that I really regret buying in the year of 2019. I'd love to know, what are some of your makeup regrets that you've had throughout the year? We can all commiserate together. Let us know in the comments down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I will have a lot more 2019 wrap-up videos coming, so make sure to stay tuned for those. And if you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.